by the power of Greyskull.
Hey everybody, it's a Review Revolution, back at you again with the next in the Masters of the Universe Classics reviews. Today we're taking a look at the Club Eternia figure for November, and that is GRIZZLOR. GRIZZLOR, actually very cool figure, very cool character. Here is the white mailer box, as you see. Same thing as every other mailer box. Masters of the Universe logo at the top, got the adult collector here, the Matty logo there, and of course the name of the figure. Only other real difference is that on the back, of course, this is the sort of thing you'd see on the bottom of the figure in the packaging. Talks about the consumer information, contains one figure and accessories, and all the good stuff as far as where it's made and copyrights and all that other really good stuff. Inside the mailer box, we do get the second of the evil Horde characters. The first one being HORDAK. And now we have GRIZZLOR. Actually, very, very cool. I like GRIZZLOR. I think he's actually a pretty cool choice. I don't know. I kind of would like to see either Leech or Mantana or probably Catra. Those would be three of the Horde figures. One of those next three would actually be really cool to see next under the Horde. I don't know. Maybe Modulok, but they did GRIZZLOR, and that's fine with me. We'll get a look and see how he is inside. Very, very cool, bringing back his heavy fur, very much like the classics. But we'll get to that. Right now, the packaging. We have GRIZZLOR, ferocious figure with fur. Again, adult collector. Has the dimple in the front, lightning, logo, Greyskull packaging with skyline, and the air holes, the Matty air holes. It's something. It's one thing that you can always. It's like coming home. You look at it and you see the packaging, and it's different from other packagings. And you look over it and you see the air holes. You think Mattel, and you've come home. The other figures that are in the set are Keldor with HORDAK, which is kind of appropriate to have Keldor with HORDAK. HORDAK, of course, being the leader of the Horde, so, of course, we got GRIZZLOR there. So those are the three villains. Man-at-Arms, don't quite understand why he's necessarily there. Adora, I think, might be a good choice, particularly because we have She-Ra. And, of course, He-Man finally up at the top. The bios, I'm going to read the bios, but just like with Roboto, I'll give you a peek at GRIZZLOR'S original appearance, his, original introduction. But in this case, GRIZZLOR, real name, not even going to read it because I think it's dumb. Originally a peaceful creature from the planet Jungula, whatever, at the young age of 428, unless you're a Vulcan, I don't know anyone who considers 428 young. Stupid name, was kidnapped by the Horde Empire, who erased his memories so he would serve loyally in their armies. Renamed GRIZZLOR. See, that's why I like the Horde. They don't screw around. We're going to drop this, and we're just going to call you GRIZZLOR. He traveled back with Hector Kerr, dumb name, to Eternia in search of Hero. His ferocious attacks were so frightening that even after being banished to Despondos, along with his master, GRIZZLOR'S legend lived on, becoming a myth told to young Eternian children. Prison guard for Horde, GRIZZLOR is ready to unleash his fierce claws to attack the forces of Eternia. That's the bio on the card. Just give you a little more background into where he originally came from. But with Roboto, I did take a moment and put together a short little wrap up or a short little ditty on his original appearance in the minicom. So check it out.
In a lot of ways, the bio on the back of the card is simply trying to tell a backstory prior to the character's first appearance in the comic GRIZZLOR: The Legend Comes Alive. In it, the characters Man-at-Arms, Fisto, and Teela sit around a campfire listening to Buzz-Off tell ghost stories of a mysterious furry beast that attacks the people. In the firelight, Buzz-Off takes immense pleasure in spooking Teela, and Man-at-Arms simply laughs it off as being simple children's stories and nothing to be taken seriously. In the morning, they begin to track ahead, and Buzz-Off finds footprints from a mysterious creature that he believes may in fact be the creature GRIZZLOR himself. When he returns to Man-at-Arms and Fisto, they chastise him and say that this is no time for his stories, and in fact may pose a serious threat. HORDAK, ever watchful, uses their disbelief as a means to send his furry minion to ambush our heroes with the instructions to bring back Teela. What I really like about this issue is that, as the student of HORDAK, Skeletor has told his teacher about his failed plan to copy the Sorceress and how it led to the subsequent birth of Teela, thus keeping the continuity of the mini-comics despite the influence of the TV show that was airing at the time. Teela refuses to provide any information, and thus is imprisoned in the Fright Zone. The Sorceress, with her magical connection to her daughter, tells He-Man and Roboto, who are quickly joined by Man-at-Arms, Fisto, and Buzz-Off, where she can be found. Arriving in the Fright Zone, HORDAK and GRIZZLOR begin to make short work of the heroes, until Fisto finds the opportunity to free Teela, and He-Man and the Wind Raider throws them a rescue line. In a moment, very reminiscent of a Thundercats ending, GRIZZLOR catches his reflection in the mirror of Teela's shield. The terrible sight causes GRIZZLOR to run off in fear. With Teela saved, the heroes manage to escape HORDAK and return to Eternia. In the end, Buzz-Off learns that the greatest lesson, that for the safety of all his friends, any stories that are left to be told must forever remain secret.
You know, do I think that the bio on the back of the card is worse than his original appearance? No, because the back of the card actually tells us a little bit more about where GRIZZLOR originally came from. Is it necessary? But it's something where, if nothing else, what the GRIZZLOR bio establishes is that just like Adora, who was kidnapped and put under a mind control spell, a memory eraser kind of situation, we see that the Horde use that as a fairly common practice. I don't think we should see it again. I'd hate to think the entire Horde army is simply made up of brainwashed, kidnapped children. So it could be part of something else. Gives us a little insight into the inner workings of the Horde. I like it on that level, but please stop with the goofy names. Let's take a moment, pop GRIZZLOR out of the pack, and have some fun. Be right back. All right, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We've got GRIZZLOR open and out of the pack, and I'll tell you right now, this character is going to get a really high score. GRIZZLOR, this figure, it's really cool. Despite a few things that, or at least one major thing that I have to make sure to kind of start off with, for anybody who read the Toy Fair issue that actually showed the preview pictures of GRIZZLOR, you probably remember that along with his 2002 sash or loincloth, he was also supposed to have the interchangeable face that would pop out and peg back in. I tend to think that because of Maddie's announcement back with Whiplash, when they said that they probably weren't going to be doing any more 2002 designs on the heads, I tend to think that was more of a, again, preventative thing. It was kind of a preemptive thing, because I think they were having problems with GRIZZLOR. I think they knew GRIZZLOR was going to be a problem, and they decided to scrap the idea and just make the announcement that they weren't going to be doing any more 2002 designs. And then again, of course, once they made the announcement, they could leave his head out and then come back to it later saying, well, it took us time to kind of get back into that mindset. So it's going to be interesting to watch what Maddie has to say now after GRIZZLOR has come out and this rather unique head design, this swapping face design, is out of their hair. No pun intended. But yeah, he only comes with the one face. It is based on the classic, and not to get too far off subject, but I don't have my original GRIZZLOR because 2 days after I got mine, I found it plucked bald by my pet cat at the time. So the cat that I had, he had somehow got a hold of him and just plucked him from all the fur, from all the flock on him, and it was really a disheartening thing. I never got another one. I never went back to get another one, but I really wish I still had him. I wish I did get another one and kept it, because this one brings back so many memories. I would like to have had the other one to bring in just to really see what the differences are, because this brings back so many memories. For the most part, the fur is, at least on the body, just a piece of shag fabric, like I mentioned, that's just sewn around him, just all the way around. If you look, and I am going to brave looking underneath his fur, you can see that he has his shaggy shorts and actually his belt. And the belt is actually painted with the same golden undercoat and yellow rivets that the wristbands are. So whatever assembly line process the wristbands go through, the lower torso kind of goes through the same thing. Because there's absolutely no reason for that to be there or to be painted, but it is. So the assembly line marches on. Really, really great sculpting, really great figure. I love it. I think he's fantastic. The articulation, the head actually is on a full ball joint, which is great. Despite being being wrapped in a piece of fabric, the arms come up and out just fine. Twist to the bicep, elbow, and wrist. And I gotta say, for the plastic that they used on GRIZZLOR, the sculpting is the same as Chief, whatever his name was, but it feels much better. It doesn't feel as oily, doesn't feel as soft. It feels much, much firmer. So whatever issues they had with their plastic a couple months back, that seems to be over. Thank goodness. That was just a one-time deal. The legs, well, actually the crunch, I don't know if he's got a crunch. If it is, it's really, really tight. He's got his twist. There's still the twist. And the leg will twist at the waist, comes up and out, then at the knee, boot, and foot. So fantastic. Very, very good. Much like Man-at-Arms, GRIZZLOR does actually come with, or have, on his back, the weapon harness. A nice assortment of just weapons. 2 different swords, an actual sword, and what looks to be almost like a machete, cutting through forest and so on and so forth. And they just peg in by the handle as such. If I can get them to peg in, there we go. You can actually see that the top of the handle, or right here at the hilt of the sword, there is little notches for those to fit in so they sit flush, because he also comes with an axe that will pop in so. So 2, a sword, a machete, an axe, and then lastly, of course, as all the Horde figures will have, the crossbow. There you go. Because he didn't come with the 2002 head, whether or not I'll really bother with his sash, with his loincloth, I'm not sure. May or may not. Here we have him completely decked out with all his accessories. I may keep it on just so I don't lose it. But really, you know, it would have been nice to have gotten this with the 2002 head. I'm all for that. As long as we get the vintage to go along with it. If they throw in the 2002 look, I'm not going to complain too loudly. As long as I can still keep my vintage look if I like. Hope you enjoyed it. Really, you know, I don't rate my figures that much anymore. But if I were to give him a score, I have to give GRIZZLOR a 9. This guy is fantastic. For a henchman character to turn out so well, I would say bravo. Bravo. Definitely take a look at him. Thank you everybody for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.